Hello and thank you for joining me today. I'm Jan Clothier of Thinking Stamping and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in New Zealand. And today I thought I'd share with you a card that I made in a recent card class because the people who came along enjoyed making it, so I thought I'd share it with you. It's a nice simple card that you'd be able to make lots of if you got in the mood, and you can add in your own little variations, which I'll talk about as we go along. But we'll start off by talking about what things you need to make this card. And if you live in New Zealand and you see any products that you really think you can't live without in your craft stash, you're more than welcome to shop with me. And there's a link to my online store in the video description below this video, and through my Facebook page and blog, the details of which are also on the end card in the video description. So I was really pleased to see that the Merriest Moments set carried over into this year's Christmas catalogue because I think it's a fabulous set and I've used it so very much. But I've often used the beautiful embossing folder and die cuts that go with it. So this time I'm focusing really on some of the smaller images from it. And we do use the dies. So the Stampin' dies, Merriest Moments, which I'll just pop up there. The colours that I'm using today are Shaded Spruce and Merry Merlot, but you could use any green and red combination that you like. And you need an embossing folder. So I have got two here that I used in class. I gave people a choice, and one of them was the Woodland, Whimsical Woodland folder, which you may have seen me use before, or the Gingham folder. And you can see this is the card that I've made using the Whimsical Woodland, and this one uses the Gingham folder, and they both look really nice. So just, pick yourself an embossing folder that you like. Right, and what else do you need? Well, you need some cardstock, obviously. So it actually is, it's surprisingly resource light. So there's a card base, and I've done Merry Merlot. This is just a standard size card base. So for me, that's half of an A4 piece of paper, 21 centimeters that way, 14.8 that way, and scored at 10.5. If you are not a metric person, if you use imperial measurements, then just use whatever your standard card base is, and I'm sure it will work out. Oh, I don't. I hope it will work out. Right, I've also got two pieces of basic white, which are cut to be half a centimetre, which is roughly 1/4 of an inch, smaller than the card front. So it's 10 centimetres that way, 14.3. One of those is for the inside of the card, so we'll just pop it away for later because we don't need it right now. And the other is for the card front. And I'm going to emboss it with the, I think I'll use the Whimsical Woodland folder. Okay, and so there is my card front embossed with the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. You will also need a piece of basic white to do your stamping on, and it needs to be big enough to stamp and give you room to fit the dies around. So these are in Merry Merlot, the smallest of the poinsettias, and I did 2 of those leaves. Now if you like the look of the other leaves, then if you want to do it holly, do whatever, but these are the ones that I've chosen to do, and I've already stamped those and die cut them so they're ready for us to use. And the other thing you need is just a strip of paper. Now that is because the way that I have done the wording is I've used this lovely little bundle, Alphabest, which comes with its own little punch that punches out each of these letters if you want them to. You can just use them to make words, or you can punch them and build them up that way. Now because the punch goes this way, I wanted a long strip of paper, so if I stamp down, it will make the punching easy. So we'll just move everything that might possibly get inked on out of the way, and I'll just get a bit of paper to stamp on, and I'll show you what I did. So if I get back the Alphabest set here, you can see that there's a number of different cartouches that you can use, or you can just use the letters balled, but I decided I'd use a cartouche so that I would have a border. And there's a couple I could have chosen, but you can see I just chose the solid outline. So with my bit of paper, and I've already blocked it up, I'm going to use the Shaded Spruce for the outline. Just tapping it on, and then I'm just going to stamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Boom. Now, I have made my cards say Noel because I like that. I think it's a nice Christmas saying. But since you have an entire alphabet at your disposal, if you want your card to say love, peace, joy, you know, whatever Christmas expression you might want to do, then obviously you can do that because you've got all the letters to make whatever words you want. Now, I know Noel's only got 4, but, you know, while I've got this stamp out, I'm just going to stamp a couple of extras just in case I muck up the stamping or the punching. Okay, so I'll just put that aside. Close that up so that there's no disasters with the ink. Okay, and now I'm going to use the Merry Merlot to pop in the letters. Now, I've already blocked them up. So N, you can see I've used them in class because they've already become quite stained. So N, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are we? O. E. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. And the L, which strangely enough is the one that I had the most trouble with. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Now hopefully I won't need those spares when I come to punch them out. Again, closing up my ink so I don't have any disasters. Checking my fingers, you can see I've already been doing some crafting today. Right, and then it's just a matter, because I've stamped them down like this, the punching out should be more straightforward, so I can just line them up and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And good luck, I didn't need my spares. Okay, so now it is nice, as I said, it's a nice quick card. So we will get the base and the glue. You know, I'm a glue person, but if you like to use tape or tape runner or snail or Stampin' Seal, whatever you like to use, that's what you should use. If you're doing glue, don't use so much that it will ooze out when you put the 2 pieces of paper together. Less is more. But I do like the wiggle room because it lets you just straighten up if you get it on a bit crooked. You've got a few seconds to get it right if you've used glue. Okay, so that looks all right. Now I like to place things before I start gluing, so I'm going to get my 2 pieces of foliage, and I think they're going to go there, and that's going to go on top, and then I'm going to have my Noel advance across the page. E and L. Okay, I think that's going to work. That looks like it's spaced about right. So, whoops, bit of glue. Tweezers are always helpful because I reckon you can see better where you're putting things if you use tweezers. Okay, a bit more glue there. Okay. Right, now, just to give it a bit more lift, I am going to attach this with a dimensional. And for me, I'm going to be very restrained. I'm only using 1. Now, I haven't worried about stamping in the centre because I'm going to put an embellishment in the centre. And so now it's just a matter of popping on my words, which, as I say, in my case, it's Noel, but you might have used joy or love or peace or whatever. They are dimensionaled on. That was a choice that I made. Some of the people who came to class decided that they didn't want to dimensional and they just glued it on. It looked fine. I personally preferred the slightly lifted look, but you can try it. You know, if you're making this card and you think, oh, I don't know, especially if you're going to post it, if you know for a fact you're going to post it, then you might choose to not dimensional. And now, just to finish off, I'm going to add in a little bit of bling. And because I've got this kind of like clean, simple white look going on, I'm going to stick with just basic rhinestones. I'm going to put a big one in the middle. Now, if you wanted to, you could embellish this a bit more. You could easily, you know, make a bigger spray with some, you know, with more flowers in it, with more bigger flowers, brighter flowers, more leaves. You know, it's up to you. You can just play with the idea. If you like this card, you can take it and make it your own. Okay, now for the inside, as I said, there's just a single piece of white paper on the inside. I just kept it very simple. I'm not going to do it now, I'll just show you what I did. I just put in some of the foliage from the front as a stamp. But, you know, it's also, there's some very nice sayings like thinking of you this festive season that would work quite nicely on the inside, or a joyful Christmas to you and yours. So, you know, I always say to my people who come to class, experiment on the inside. Do, you know, play around with some new stamps or a new look. And the same for you, you know, you don't have to copy exactly what I've done. Anyway, there you are. There's my simple little card using the Merriest Moment stamp set, the Alphabest bundle. The Alphabest bundle you'll find in the 2022 annual catalogue. The colours again were Merry Merlot and Shaded Spruce. As always, I'm more than happy to answer questions, and you can contact me through my blog or Facebook page, the details of which are on the end card and in the description below. And if you live in New Zealand and you've seen any products that you'd love to add to your collection, then you're more than welcome to shop with me, and there's a link to my online store in the video description below as well. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.